Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Please notify me in the comments. We are awaiting Lady Heather's arrival. This is Tom, the assistant. Can you hear me? Thank you, Carl. We'll begin shortly. Thank you, Marianne. Getting ready to go live.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is I, Lady Heather, and this is the second week of our Haunted Bayou. We'll be coloring or finish coloring our voodoo image. I hope you all had a chance to go ahead and visit my colorofloveshop.com to download the image. I hope you followed the tutorial from last week and that you're all up to date so we can resume this. Unfortunately, due to a scheduling conflict with our special guest, the music box presentation that was taking place this week has now been bumped to next Saturday, or this coming Saturday, at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Right here on live on YouTube. It will be a color along event. I'll go into more details about the things that you will need to do in order to fully participate in next week's really super spooky event. But for now, we are in the Haunted Bayou. It's time to start coloring our voodoo image. So I'm going to go ahead and take a brief break and get the camera turned around, and let's begin to color. So get set, get some water, your favorite beverage, get your coloring stuff ready, and let's begin. Be back shortly. everyone, sorry about that. Had a little bit of technical difficulties. Hope you all have your favorite beverage. This is mine for the holiday season. We have a pumpkin latte. And of course, this is one of my favorite villains. What do you consider? No, I think he's not a villain. What do you think, Tom?
He's a villain.
Pennywise?
Pennywise is definitely a villain.
I don't know. He's a unique, nice horror movie. But anyway, this is such a cool mug. If you look on the other side, look, with a coffee spill. There he is with the red balloon. This was from the remake from It. The original one was with Tim Curry. And this one came out, what, last year?
Yeah, they can't really see the mug because you're holding it funny. Tip it back a little.
I really can't tip it back.
Okay. Anyway.
We'll have coffee all over the desk.
Anyway, we have Carl, Marianne, and Glenda with us right now.
Hi, Glenda, Marianne, and Carl.
Carl says he can hear us now, but not seeing Lady Heather, but A-okay now. Okay, we're good.
Were you able to see Lady Heather in the beginning?
I saw her just fine. Did everybody in the studio audience see Lady Heather in the beginning?
We're waiting. Oh, I hope y'all did. I was back in the Haunted Bayou again.
I'm sure they did. Our chat has slowed down, so it's hard to find out.
Hey, this is the whole wonderful thing about going live. Things just... It's a Sunday, beginning of a new week. Why should things not be topsy-turvy?
Oh, yes, saw you in the beginning, and here everything's fine, and yes, we saw her perfectly, says Marianne.
Excellent. Okay. So, like I said in the beginning, in the intro, we're kind of, like I said, do that scheduling change. We're now just going to go ahead and resume working on the VOODOO. My apologies for that. My special guest for next Saturday's event apologizes also. Just to recap, and like I said, make sure you got your coffee, your water, what have you. Sit back and let's have some fun. And we have a couple more things to go over before we get going. We have a winner I'd like to announce from last week's VOODOO 1 event. And remember, if you're just joining us for the first time here for the part 2 of this, the replays to the live stream can be found on my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything, and give it a thumbs up or 2 thumbs up. Now I just lost my train of thought.
You were going to announce the winner and say what they won.
We had last week's prize was the set of 48 Ohuhu alcohol markers, the brush markers, and our lucky winner is Carl. What is his last name?
O'Neill.
Carl O'Neill. I knew that for some reason. If you could, please contact me privately. Do not post any public information or personal information on the public airwaves. Contact me on my email address, colorlove2@outlook.com. Shoot me your name. Make sure winner of for the VOODOO week in the subject line, and we'll get those markers sent out to you. Our previous winner before was Glenda, who was a lucky winner of a Black Widow pencil set. So I'm sure that's in transit now, heading to Glenda. And once again, Albert, I want to give a shout out there to Albert from Black Widow for staying on top of that and arranging shipment and everything with her and awarding that prize. This week, let's talk about that, but let's start doing some coloring while we're doing that, okay?
Carl says, wow, thanks so much. Can't wait to receive the gift.
Oh, you're so welcome. They're really, really super nice markers, and I think you'll really have a blast with them. Basically, they're everything what a Copic can do, newer on the market, and yeah, they're very nice marker sets. So let's go ahead and do some general coloring here. I am working once again with the Derwent Color Soft. We did do a marker base on pretty much all of the image, what you see so far, and then we're going to top it off and do the finishing touches with the Color Soft pencils. These are a wax-based pencil, and really, really nice. Really, really nice pencils. So what I wanted to go ahead and do, this is the pink lavender, and everywhere where there was a light pink, that would be the peak of the jacket and so forth. We want to go ahead and just do really, really a light layer just to add some kind of color down here. Because when we blend this all out, as you can see, as I did this one ruffle here, or this one pleated curled to her jacket, this is the effect that we're going to be going through. So we can go ahead and do this.
Wow, Glenda said she's already received the Black Widow pencils and they're amazing.
Wow. What set did you get, Glenda? Because I know you had a couple sets already. I can't remember. I think it was the Monarch.
Way to go, Albert. Thanks for getting that out in a hurry. That's amazing.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Especially knowing the Royal Post.
Yes. Have to make sure to send Albert another thank you.
Indeed.
We do have another Black Widow pencil set, though, coming up in the next. This is an 8-week-long Halloween celebration. And we do have that as a prize coming up, not this week and not next week, but it'll be coming up. The following week we'll be giving away another Black Widow pencil set.
And I have to apologize for the technical difficulty. That was on me. We're working out a new system so that Lady Heather can broadcast in widescreen all the time. So we'll get there.
Yeah.
Oh, Glenda got the new Monarch set.
Did you? What do you think of it? I mean,
she says they're beautiful colors.
Yes, beautiful colors. And they complement the other sets really, really, really nice. Okay, I'm going back to my indigo. Last week when we were on here, this was a pencil that seemed to be kind of, I hate to say this, but sometimes you do get a bad pencil out of a batch, okay? And the core, I'm not able to sharpen this as one would normally be able to sharpen the Derwent products. They're known for their stability in that. And this just happens to be a mismark, or what would you say, a mishap in production in this one. And every time I sharpen it past a certain point,
you hit a fracture.
Yeah, it's like chunks are coming off. So I am substituting it today. This is Indigo Color Soft. I will be substituting it with the Prismacolor Premier Indigo. They're not identical, but out of all the pencil sets I have, that's the closest one I could get to achieve the same effect. So when I have to have that pencil sharpened really good, then that's what we're going to do. We're going to bounce over back to the Prismacolor in place of this. But for right now, we're using the Color Soft, and this is the Indigo. And I'm going to go ahead and lay in the shadows. And I want to say thank you for joining us. It really means a lot to me to have you come join me live. You know, it means a lot to me that you join me on Patreon and on Facebook and all that, and follow me. It really means the world to me.
And if anyone needs a closer view of what Lady Heather is doing right now, she can zoom in, zoom out, let you see the home image. Just let us know what works for you.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and scoot this up a little bit. There we go. Better than moving the camera right now. So basically I'm just working on the shadows. Anyway, no, I was talking about Pennywise. Why do you think he's a villain?
He's a villain. He makes kids float.
Well,
he picks on little kids.
Well, yeah, but it's the whole cool character, though.
Not only that, he's a clown. I hate clowns.
adding in the shadows here. Well, I don't think he's more of a clown. How many of you have seen It? The movie It? I don't know. It was the whole makeup and everything. He creeps me out too, to a certain extent. I'm a big fan of Tim Curry from the first movie. But they did do the second one, or this remake, well.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it wasn't
the remake and its sequel, It Too, were both beautifully produced.
Yeah, and it wasn't you know how some movies, just when they remake them, just kind of fall short, or they make a mockery of like the first original movie.
Yeah.
This one didn't.
Now, Marianne says, it's so much more fun to join live, as we can ask questions right away and get them answered right away too. So we don't have to wait for the answers until sometime later when you see it.
Right, exactly.
So, hello to Denmark, Marianne.
Marianne's in Denmark?
I believe so. You have fans all over the world, lady.
Yes, I do. For some reason, I thought she was in the UK.
Glenda's in the UK.
Glenda's in the UK. Now you can see, this is indigo blue. Let me show you the off of this. Check this out. This is as blue as can be. Now, I just applied this. Let me zoom on in here.
But isn't indigo more purple?
It's got a reddish base to it, more of a warm blue. But look at this. When you apply it over that Copic, it is now purple. Okay, and if you go into a line like you just see I did over here with onto the snake thing, it's okay. Don't worry about it. You have, number one, your trusty battery-operated eraser, like I do, or another eraser. I think it's actually marker. That was actually marker.
Carl said that he saw it, and it was okay.
It was okay.
Okay, Carl, just so you know, it scared the pants off me and Lady Heather.
No, it didn't. I liked Pennywise, except for the dancing. That was kind of...
that would be the perfect Halloween costume for Lady Heather.
What, It?
Yeah. You could get that walk down.
Ha. I'm not that creature that it is. Okay. Here is the bright lilac. And I'm going to go ahead and come on in from that dark and kind of work over the make that graduated. Technical difficulties here. I got cords falling. That's the distraction here. Today is an off day. This is not how the week is going to go. Hope y'all are having a good weekend.
Now, we've been hunting for an old Disney horror movie, and we can't find it streaming anywhere. It was a story by Ray Bradbury called Something Wicked This Way Comes, and it's about a haunted carnival, or an evil carnival. It's kind of like the Twilight Zone.
I've never seen that one.
You'll like it.
Saw High Spirits, though. That was another Disney one, wasn't it? Or was it?
Wasn't. I don't think it was Disney, but Peter O'Toole and...
That was really, really
Steve
cute.
Guttenberg. That was
Haunted Castle. Beverly D'Angelo was in it.
And Jennifer Tilly.
Yes, Jennifer Tilly, who also played in Disney's The Haunted Mansion as Madam
What's-Her-Face.
Oh, Madam What's-Her-Face. She was the fortune teller in the crystal ball. That was really cool. Okay. So you can go ahead and see. I'm going to go ahead and add this blue. This happens to be, the actual name is Blue. That's original. Let me go ahead and lay this blue down. Now, this is really, really thin coats. I'm not, doing a powerhouse pressure here on any of these. This is extremely thin because we've already laid down that marker base. So it doesn't have to be perfect, because once you sit here and blend it, it's going to fill in all the gaps.
By the way, that character name was Madame Leota.
That's it. I knew that.
I had to check the interwebs.
That's one of my favorite Disney rides is the Haunted Mansion, and totally different from the Disneyland one to the Disney World.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a lot longer ride at Disneyland than it is at Disney World.
My favorite ride is still Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland.
And two totally different things. They had a restaurant many years ago in that ride in New Orleans when the boats and stuff were shooting back and forth. They had that French restaurant there. That did not exist at Disney World.
Cool.
A lot longer lines, though, for the Bayou. I'm going to come back in with that blue. Blue. The original blue color. And I'm going to blend a little bit of this in where it's kind of graduating up to that peak.
Carl says, The Beast with Five Fingers from 1947. This movie was great.
Yes.
You don't have to watch that, lady.
No, I've seen it. I've seen it
it
twice.
Oh. You like Peter Lorre, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a little creepy.
I don't know. There was another movie. What was it? The Woman in the Window, I think it was the title that I watched. Okay, that who was it? Oh, Peter Lorre was in that too.
No.
Yes, he was.
Was he?
Yes, he was one of
Edward
the.
G. Robinson?
Yeah, but he wasn't. Peter Lorre was in it.
Oh, okay.
Peter Lorre was in it. That little yeah, he was in it.
You've never seen Casablanca, have you?
Nope.
Rick, you've got to help me, Rick.
Is he in that too?
Yeah, he doesn't
No.
last long. He's kind of short.
No. Yeah, Women in the Window. If you haven't seen some of these are older movies. Women in the Window. See, how can I say this? It's a great movie. It really was. In just, I can't say because then I'll. It's a really great movie. Most of it. How's that? That's a safe way of saying it, right? Yeah, The Beast with Five Fingers.
And we're not talking about the one that was just released in 2020. We're talking about the one that was released in 1944.
Yes. It's a good thriller. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a horror movie. That's a suspenseful thriller movie. Speaking about horror movies, I was looking online, well, actually looking for a horror movie to watch. It was last night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and got a list, typed in what was like the top 10 horror movies, see if there was one I missed, because I had never seen what was it? Let Me In? Let the Right One In? Something like that. Hold on, I need to go ahead and sharpen a pencil here. Taking the white, by the way, the Color Soft white, and now we're just going to go ahead and lightly burnish it. And you're going to see how this purple in that, it brings out the blue, leaving that purple base, and it's blending it, giving this nice satin look. But anyway, we were going ahead and looking for a horror movie, and I pull up the list of top 10 horror movies. Okay, now you know I like watch horror movies year round. So I'm going down the list and get to number 1. Oh, what was it? Wait a minute, let's go back for number 10. Number 10 was Carrie. Okay, I can live with that. That's a Stephen King movie. And you can see as I'm, hang on a second, I'll get back to that.
Carl has chimed in and he said, no, Peter Lorre was not in Woman in the Window. That's Claude Mazard who plays the blackmailer who tries to get the money out.
That wasn't Peter Lorre?
You're mixing up movies.
I do that a lot, so.
Yeah.
No,
Carl's
that's part of
right.
MS. Yeah. Okay, well, it looked like him. But anyway, so here I am. Oh, hang on a second. So can you see this? The difference from this ruffle, this curled ruffle to this. And you want this because I'm picturing that this whole entire thing is satin. Okay, and this is, and let me go over this again. I really love this white, and I really burnish with Caran Dash white. But I'm telling you what, if you don't want to pay, if you go individually and pay like $4.95 for Caran d'Ache, and you want a good white pencil to burnish, Derwent Color Soft. I mean, look at this. Let me try to zoom on in here. Can you see this? How glorious this is, just mixing these colors. Now, when I come back over, let's say I want to go ahead and grab my polychromo black, which I use just to strengthen up the shadows and that crease. When you come back over it, look how it makes the black really, really stand out. And I don't like using a lot of black in my colorings and my artwork, but you really need to sometimes, because you really need to accentuate like the shadows and so forth.
Okay, Marianne says, it looks amazing, Heather. Glenda says, the battery eraser is really helpful not only to erase mistakes, but to use to make highlights.
Yes, I use it all the time in my hair.
I didn't know I needed this until I saw you using it.
Well, let me go off the beaten path here. Check this out. Hang on a second. This is one of my Patreon images, and I know this is more of a Heather Valentin image. But check this out. This is one of my Poppy Mermaids. And for those of you who are on Patreon, this is a tier 10, or tier 10. This is a $10 tier. This is tier 3. This is my Poppy Mermaid. This is an illustration that was able to be downloaded from there as one of your monthly rewards. And this is the tutorial that I'm working on. These poppies, thank you, Glenda, for saying this. And her hair, all this highlights and stuff was done with the Derwent eraser. And I mean, it does amazing things. Then if you were, once you erase it, and how it's really made those petals like curl up and stuff. So I mean, yeah, it does the same thing for hair and everything. And I'm having one of my MS issues here, so hold on just a second.
Warm there?
Yep, I'm either warm or I'm cold, so I'm going to go ahead and take off my sweater here.
So Marianne says, I can't make myself to watch any horror movies as I would get terrible nightmares afterwards. Then, I'm worse than the kids on this matter.
Oh, I have nightmares constantly about them. But yeah, I understand. What was it though? I found the list. Going back to the top 10, I found the list to be rather odd. It was done in what? It was done in August. Mm-hmm. The list of this year, nothing current. And for those of you who have watched horror movies, I mean, I think the Insidious, and I think you agree with me on this, the Insidious chain. What is that lady's name? She's also...
I'll think of it. She's great. She's also in a couple other spookers.
Yeah, Penny, City of Angels. Penny Dreadful's City of Angels.
That's one of my favorites.
She's an elderly lady. Lim.
I'm looking.
He's looking
right now.
She's fantastic. But this chain of Insidious
Lynn Shay.
Yes. And I think she has more work now than she did when she was younger. But I mean, they had, what was it? Jamie Lee Curtis as the queen of horror movies and screams and that. I think this lady's got her beat.
Well, and the funny thing is, this lady, she looks like your favorite aunt.
Oh yeah, that's the creep factor in that. Except in the Insidious, she plays a good character in that. Mm-hmm. She's kind of like a psychic thing, but it they never even had in the top 10 the Insidious. They had Carrie, the others.
Yeah.
Exorcist came in number 3 with Linda Blair.
That was just stupid.
What, the movie or the
rankings?
The rankings. And The Shining was number 1.
Nah.
And I'm like, yeah, it was good, but it wasn't. And I'm a huge Stephen King fan with his books, and I just don't know. But anyway, that's about horror movies. The others was good. Oh, Signs. No, Sixth Sense with Bruce Willis. That was a thriller. That was good too.
How long did it take you to figure out that Bruce Willis was dead when you saw that movie?
Not until the end. And I had to rewatch it to miss everything that I had missed.
Do you know when I figured it out?
When she lost the ring.
No. When the kid turned to him and said, I see dead people. And he sees Bruce Willis. It's obvious Bruce Willis is dead.
I didn't get that at all from there. I thought he was really helping him. Well, he kind of was in a way. Anywho. I'm going to go ahead and, as you can see, I'm burnishing this out. This happens to be a pleat. And like I said, I am barely applying any pressure to this. And am I on? I'm on the whole camera. Okay, just making sure that I have a wide range. I am doing circles, and then I come back, or these mini circles, and I come back, and I blend it out into the direction here. So you make sure, especially with like the paper that I'm working on now, which is 98 pound mixed media paper, I want to make sure that all the pigment is getting into all the various tooth of the paper.
It looks very smooth.
Yeah, I want to get that, thank you, that nice satiny look. So we have a lot of different light sources in this. You can see how applying the markers down first really cuts off the time, and the various colors that are in this. I mean, we had the shocking, purple down here as the marker, and now we have, just a beautiful graduated effect.
Carl says, indeed, it is obvious that you love painting, and you make it so enjoyable. My wife and I appreciate you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's because you guys, it really keep me going and loving this. Oh, so wait a minute. That gets me, before I forget and get sidetracked again, I have to say, I hope you all really are paying attention to that. I'm going to do the same thing here, then I'll get into the good stuff. I'm going to zoom in here for a minute. Do you see how purple this is? Well, this was purple into here. And of course we're not done. I got to add the black in here. But how, now watch here so you can see kind of a close-up. Lay that blue and look how that has actually changed. You still see that purple, but now that blue, and that's kind of what satin does. There's so many different, when light shines on it, there's so many different colors coming on into that satin.
Now, Glenda says, it's like having a private tutor. I'm so pleased to be able to see you live.
Well, thank you.
As we get this production system easier, you'll be able to see Lady Heather live much more often.
Yes, indeed. And of course, that brings me to another thing with Patreon. For those of you who like the tutorials, and that I do real-time tutorials on Patreon, we have various tiers. There's tier 1, and I'm looking at my hands, and I have colors coming on my hands. Okay, let me get a paper towel here. That's different. Trying to see what that is. Huh.
Color soft?
No, I don't know. It's like black. Polychromo, something's on my pencil. Okay, I'm looking at my hands here because that's the last thing I want to do is just go ahead and have colors transfer onto here.
Well, that's very nice, Carl. Let's give a great job to Tom. Thank you very much.
Yay! Anyway. Oh, excuse me.
Marianne says, I can only agree to that too, Glenda. It's truly amazing.
Thank you. For those of you who are on Patreon or who are not, this is a way to have basically me at your disposal. Did that come out right? 24/7. I'm your little private teacher. It's a lot easier, and it's condensed everything for me onto this really cool platform that allows me to interact with my fans on a different level. There are 3 tiers, I believe, like I said. One for $1 is tier 1. Then there's tier 2, which is $5 a month, and then tier 3, which is $10 a month. This, you get plenty of rewards. You get free, well, you get a bunch of, I'm trying to back this up here so you can see what I'm doing down here. Each tier allows you to have various exclusive illustrations, but in tier 2 and tier 3, there's plenty of real-time tutorials that I upload each month. And along with the images, some tiers allow you to have back behind the scenes stuff, what's happening, and you know, things about when coloring books and stuff, and all that kind of stuff is going to be happening. So it gives you, you know, kind of an inside look into my art studio, which brings me to another thing. Should I mention what's going to be happening to the couple of them, or should I keep that a surprise first?
Keep that as a surprise.
Yeah, so all those who are on Patreon, this week I have a really special announcement that, yeah, you're going to be seeing a lot more of me. I'll just leave it at that. That's a good way of doing it.
Now, Marianne would like to get to see your electric eraser and your sharpener.
This is my sharpener. Is nothing fancy. It's an X-Acto sharpener, and this is my electric sharpener.
That's the pencil eater.
Yeah, it's the pencil eater. But I have like a handful of manual pencil sharpeners that I use too. That come, you know what? I have the Prismacolor one. I have Blick. One that I've had for like 20 years that I use for manual. Then you can also use a razor blade to sharpen your pencil too, but I'm not encouraging you to do that. That is something you have to be very, very careful to do. And that's basically primarily done with my pastel pencils that I use that. But this is my battery operated eraser. I believe it's $16.
If that, yeah.
Yeah, you can buy it from Derwent, Amazon. Lasts a really long time. The tip, this is like half of the eraser tip, and it just kind of slides in and out, except when you push it in that deep.
Here, I'll fix that.
Fix that, please. Shouldn't have pushed it in that deep, but anyway.
Since we're talking about pencils getting eaten, did you want to tell them about Albert and your pencils? That he has open stock?
Oh, yes. I have literally worn down my, this is from the Dark Skin set from Black Widows. This is my Midnight, and you can get open stock of any colors. Just go on to basically almost all the colors. Just contact Albert on Black Widow pencils on Facebook and ask him if he's got open stock for such and such. Normally he does. And so if you don't want to go out and buy the whole entire set again, you can pick up, you know, onesie, twosies, threesies, what have you, of your pencils. But yeah, you can see, yeah, I love the Black Widows. So yes, that's a good point. You can buy open stock just like you can with like the Color Soft pencils. And so forth.
Now, Carl and Marianne have trouble with manual sharpeners breaking the leads. Am I correct in saying that you're supposed to turn the sharpener, not the pencil?
Yes.
So hold the pencil still and turn the sharpener around it.
Yes.
It holds up.
And it does that, but sometimes I even forget about that. But yes, that's the way to do it. You want to sharpen the, turn the pencil sharpener instead of the pencil.
And if you need to clean a pencil sharpener that you've used colored pencil with, just use a graphite pencil to clean it. Just sharpen the graphite pencil. It cleans off the wax and the oil.
Indeed. Okay, I have a pencil that is now MIA.
And Marianne says that's also how she's been taught, is to turn the sharpener.
Yep. It really does work. And I'm just fine-tuning some of these areas in here. When you're working with material, remember to go ahead and darken up the creased area, because you really want to make it as pronounced as possible. But also make sure when you do something like that, you graduate that, because when you're up high, it's really, really light, and as you go down, it's got this graduated thing until you're into that valley. So you want to make sure that's consistent, and you have, you know, that happy medium with that gradient in order to keep it as realistic as possible. Anyway, I got sidetracked off of, oh, I bet you want to know what's going to happen next week. Let's see. You know, we have a special guest, and there is going to be 2 prizes given away next week. But you're going to have to play a game with us this time. And about 15-20 minutes after, let's give us a half hour with the way we're having technical difficulties. The rules will be posted underneath this post, okay, when it goes live. Give it, let's say, an hour. Give it YouTube to catch up and make sure that the live stream is going ahead and broadcasting live, okay? Read the rules in the description. It's easier for you to read this one because this is kind of a, how do I want to say it? I don't want to say a whodunit, because that would, it's not really a whodunit anything. But what would you, it's a game. You want to participate, right?
Right. And
yeah. And it'll be well worth it.
It's just a matter of being observant.
Right. So you already know it's the music box, the haunted ballerina dancer, okay? And that is the image that I will be working on next week. There will be 4 promos or clips that will be running on
all of our media, on Instagram,
right,
Twitch,
Patreon,
and YouTube. And
when I say Patreon, you can follow along on Patreon without joining the various tiers, okay, for free. You just won't be able to see the exclusive content and stuff unless you are a Patreon member. But for the clues, there's going to be 4 clues given out tonight, tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Then you have until Thursday to go ahead and let us know what the clues are, okay, in order to enter. And like I said, all these rules are going to be in the description below to the YouTube.
And each day they'll be posted by 3 p.m. Eastern Time.
Right.
And in order to qualify, you have to like, follow, subscribe, or whatever, so that we know that you're present on each of those platforms.
Right. And if you're already following me on Instagram and liking it, and you're already following me here on YouTube and all that, then you're automatically qualified as long as you participate in the game. We're trying to make this fun, and trust me, you will want to follow along with this, because this is a whole, I'd say, a week-long event.
It's kind of like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it.
Yep. So both Marianne and Glenda think it sounds like fun.
it's gonna be all cracked up. Fun. That's a good way of saying it. It's gonna be one cracked up session. That's and then some. So there's a little tip for you right there. That's a little, yeah.
You know, you talk about dolls. Did you ever go to the doll store on Royal Street in the French Quarter? It was in the movie Interview with a Vampire, but it's a real doll shop, and there must be 400 dolls sitting on shelves, and they all watch you as you walk in.
No.
Creepy.
You got creepy dolls. No, I get enough of creepy dolls watching The Woman in Black, and that dolls are not dolls. And I hate to say this, those little statues in the cemetery of like kids
or the little angels.
I don't know why, because angels are good, but when they like creep me out. I don't get it. I mean, creep me out like I will run for the hills. Creep me out.
What was that movie with Liam Neeson? Was that The Haunting?
Oh, don't.
With the little carved figurines of the children who had been killed, and they're help me now.
Oh, don't even. That movie was just beyond. And see, I'll sit there and it's like I'm a glutton for punishment. I'll sit there and watch it. And know it's going to scare me, and I'll jump for days after. It's all for the fun of it. But yeah, those dolls, dolls come alive, like in The Woman in Black, and nope, dolls are not supposed to do that. But remember, this 8 weeks is nothing but fun. It's close to Halloween, getting closer every day. Mm-hmm. And this is just about fun. We're not here to scare you out and give you nightmares, and it's not going to be. It's just for the fun of things.
Now, Marianne says, I believe we saw something like that in one of the episodes of CSI New York a few years ago, wasn't it? You know, I don't recall, but I'm sure they did. When I was last in New Orleans, I went through there in the evening and walked by at night.
Oh yeah, so all the dolls were watching you?
Well, that whole place is haunted.
Well, yeah, it's New Orleans. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and grab the white. Aha. Maybe not. There it is. Big old huge desk, and I can't find anything when I lay it down. Okay, so we got this nice fabric going on here. And I want to go ahead and grab the magenta. So I want to strengthen up that color. Is this magenta? No, it's actually, well, it's a magenta color off the top of my head. This is deep fuchsia. And you can see how beautiful that is. And I just want to kind of like top it off and come on in here and real light in like mini circles. I'm just bringing it to life a little bit and adding another like mystery layer to this material. And it's very subtle. You don't want anything to be except for your highlights. When you add these layers of color, you want them to blend and be very, very just a hint. And you can see just by that little bit what it's done. It's brought back out that, like I said, that purple that we used. And truly, you see me using several colors on here, and it's not the amount of coloring and pigment I'm laying down is just so light, and it's because those markers underneath that are causing this to happen. Like I said, if you don't have markers and you just want to go ahead and do it all with colored pencils, then go for it. I'm going to go ahead and get my indigo again over here. I'm so afraid to sharpen this pencil. And I'm adding, let's see if I can zoom in here, those shadows.
Now, I told everyone that dolls creep me out, and they do Marianne too. And then Carl says, you and my wife, she wouldn't sleep for days if we went to this store in New Orleans.
Neither would I.
They have spirits.
Yeah, okay. They're a doll. You can try that, though. Them and spiders. I'm sitting here thinking about, characters and stuff. And, dolls creep me out. But I still have to say Victor Pascow from
half his head missing?
Pet Cemetery, when he comes back alive after that, is still more frightening than a doll. And that's really surprising.
When I was a kid, there was a TV movie called Trilogy of Terror. And Karen Black was being chased around the house by a Zuni Kachina doll with a spear and a knife. And
that thing looked really hokey.
It scared the heck out of me.
Oh, that thing was not... I would laugh at that.
I was at Universal Studios years ago in Los Angeles, and they had the original doll for sale for a few $1,000s.
Did you run?
I ran.
Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take my battery-operated pencil. Ugh. Wait a minute. Back up one step. I need my white again so I can blend out what I just did over there. And I lost the white. Aha. Okay. Going to go ahead and blend this out here. Blend, burnish. It's really called burnishing. To me right now, since it's such a light coat on here, it's more blending. But the proper name would be burnishing. Anyway, I'm going to take my battery-operated pencil. And even though you can't go back to your base coat, you can't go straight down to your white, it'll take you back to the markers. And you're probably like, well, why do you cover up the markers in the first place? There's always a rhyme and a reason to it, because now look at that. Even though it didn't go back to white, it really brought that ruffle back full swing. And like here, when I just did that, it really made that purple come out even more. Aha, and it's getting sucked back up into this again. So we really have a nice even coat onto this. I'm going to go ahead and change gears here a little bit, and I want to get the skin down on our Voodoo Girl. And I'm going away from the Color Soft right now, and I'm going to be working with Prismacolors. And I have several colors out here. And let me see.
So Carl asks, were you ever scared of balloon dolls, queens, kings, etc.? I frightened my daughter once, and I don't think she ever forgave me. That sounds awful, Carl.
A balloon doll. No, I was scared of a giant turtle, though. A stuffed turtle. His name, I think, was Clyde. It was Clyde.
Okay, Marianne says, I remember when my daughter was small 30 years ago, we got some new dolls here. Not sure what they were called in the U.S., but they were called Kalehead dolls, and they were really creepy.
This is Clay Rose.
I wonder if that's what we called Cabbage Patch dolls. I just don't understand why they would make such creepy dolls for small kids. She screamed when she opened one she got for her birthday from my sister, but she never got to play with it. And Glenda says the way all the colors have blended make the fabric look so iridescent.
Well, thank you. Now I want to go ahead and add a little bit of this. This is Clay Rose. Just adding this down. Now there's a couple things. Her hand is wrapped in various areas here. So, a balloon doll. What is a balloon doll? I'm thinking, what is a balloon doll? I don't know. Please tell me what a balloon doll is. Now it's got inquiring minds want to know. Getting something here. I don't know.
That wasn't me snorting, that was Bella.
Little ballerina's been under the weather again. Okay, I have my set of colors here. Also going in and I'm adding a little bit of violet to the skin. I guess I can kind of zoom in on that for you. Remember, her head is a skull, so I'm really mixing some very interesting colors in for the darker skin tone, for that ethnic look, because I don't want her, she's just got a scully face. And this is where the shadows are. And I'm adding, I already added Clay Rose, I'm adding violet down for the shadows. Now I had a giant turtle. That was a giant stuffed turtle. I remember not going near that doll. Stuffed animal.
The one that scared me was my mother made one of those fabric swatch clown dolls with the stretchy arms and legs and the jingle bells on the ends.
Oh, yeah,
and the
no.
hand-painted face. That was scary because I'd go to sleep at night and I was little and I'd hear that jingle bell move around in my room.
That's because there was a soul inside that doll that was coming to life.
I'm sure there was. Marianne says that she has no idea what a balloon doll is and that the dress looks absolutely stunning already.
Thank you. And do tell us what a balloon doll is, Carl.
He says it was about 1.5 feet tall and they looked like the King and Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. Really neat. I didn't think they would scare her, but they sure did.
Huh. I don't know. I've never seen them. I have to burnish something out that I've seen. Hold on a minute. Okay, but you can see now. Let's go back to the skin here. So I've laid down Clay Rose. I've laid down violet. Can you see how it's making this nice ethnic coloring down here with just a few colors? You add like the perfect skin tone, I believe, is like red, yellow, violet, something like that.
Colors you wouldn't imagine. Orange,
yeah, when
orange.
But yeah, it happens. I mean, it depends on what you're coloring and when you need to do it. I mean, sometimes you can lay like chartreuse green down as your base coat and come out with this beautiful, magnificent skin tone. And there went a pencil flying off my
Let me get that for you. Got it?
desk. Yeah, got it. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to add another brown here. Okay. And I know, like I said, this sounds really weird or looks really weird, these colors, and you're like, I don't know where she's going with that. Yeah, this is light umber. And it real light. And like I said, we don't want to put any of this on her scully face or anything like that. And I'm going to go ahead and use the color Soft White. And if you need to clean off your tip, just zip, 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 and it cleans it off, or sharpen it, what have you. Matter of fact, I need to sharpen it anyway. Now look at that beautiful ethnic skin tone that came out, this darker skin tone. And I hope you can see. Well, it would help if I had the hand in there now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think you need to pan over, Lady Heather.
Oh, that's funny.
Or zoom out.
Okay. There you go. Now watch. Those weird colors that I laid down, and when they're blended out, look at that. You have nice shading. You have a nice color. Matter of fact, I could use like the chocolate and go in a little more darker, but I rather kind of leave this lighter. I want her jacket, since it's already dark, to really stand out. But look at that. We have a beautiful, beautiful skin tone with just a couple easy breezy colors like that. And that's really all I want to do. But I want to come in with that lime green right now. Is it lime green? It is lime green. And I want to highlight her fingertips a little bit, because she's got this neon glow going, you know, with this zombie doll, or this voodoo doll, I should say. So you want to go ahead and carry that through.
Marianne says, it's almost magic in front of my eyes.
Oh, thank
when
you.
you begin to blend the skin.
We got some bones and stuff going on here. So before we get into her hair, let me back up the camera. I want to go ahead and just lay in some of this green to make them really pop out before we start getting really funky in here, because we got a lot of different kind of lighting going on, and that's really the main thing. Might as well zip in and do the hat really quick. I can't find my colors. I just laid it down. I tell you, when I lay stuff down on the desk, there's a little color ghost or goblin that comes and messes with my crayons.
When the master cabinet maker built the desk, he imbued it with its very own gremlin.
Then that gremlin needs to go away really, really quick.
It likes caramels.
Well, I'm not going to feed... Oh, here's something funny. I am not going to feed caramels to an imaginary creature, okay? However, I will tell you something. Have one of my fans and drop me a note. We got talking about squirrels, okay? I know this is not a horror thing. It is kind of a horror thing. So there's this squirrel, and this I think it's Carl's wife. Isn't it? I think it's Carl's wife.
I guess so.
I don't know. She fell in love with the hummingbird that I did and was telling me all about her bird feeders and all that, and how this squirrel keeps it like eating all the bird seed from her bird feeder. I don't mean to try to crack up laughing, but anyway, the squirrel will actually sit, she was saying, up in a tree and eats the pine cones and like chucks it at her. So I guess it would be like a little horror squirrel. It's like a little terrorist little squirrel just with the pine cone seeds. But anyway, yeah, that's anyway off a beaten path. Anyway, I thought that was kind of comical with the squirrel.
Well, I hear that you had a big squirrel in your maple tree, Lady Heather.
Oh yeah, a while ago. That thing. Well, the squirrel terrorizes the dogs.
Oh.
They'll come out and they sit there and go, ha ha ha, you're inside the house and we're out here. But yeah, big squirrel in a tree comes down and jumped, and I jumped and ran.
I figure you'd be like Clark Griswold and the squirrel going bonsai and jumping at you.
The squirrel doesn't go bonsai in Christmas Vacation.
That's
they go
cool.
squirrel. squirrel, and he runs. No, I've seen that movie like 1,000 times. No, there is no bonsai in the squirrel in the movie. No. Mm-mm. But anyway, yeah. But see, animals can be terrifying too. Anyway, okay, so let's go up here and zip, zip, zip the hat. Oh no, now it's bothering me what Fan was telling me about the all because I did the hummingbird, and they're telling me about their birds. And
I seem to think it was Carl.
Yeah, Carl's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They got a pet squirrel. I think it's really so cute, though. I think they should feed him peanuts. That's where I got sidetracked because you said feed him something. I think they should feed him peanuts or cashews.
When I was a little boy, my father's friend would put a peanut in the shell in his pocket, and the chipmunk would watch that peanut run up his pant leg, across his arm, across his shoulder, get the peanut, and take off.
Ah.
He was the chipmunk whisperer.
The chipmunk whisperer? I didn't know chipmunks eat squirrels.
Chipmunks eat.
I mean.
Uh-oh. We've lost our image. They've got black screen.
Uh-oh. Hold
Hang
on.
Technical difficulties.
Okay, can anyone hear us, see us, anything? Whee!
It'll catch up.
Are we?
We've fixed our camera. It's coming through shortly. There we go.
Yay!
YouTube has a slight lag. Oh, it went black again, and it's on.
Okay.
And it's back, and it's gone. Okay.
Is it back on again?
We need to make sure that the.
Okay, hold on a second.
We use a broadcasting platform called OBS Studio, and it's free. And it has issues every now and then.
I don't know if it's that, the internet, or...
Glenda says, we are back. It's the squirrel. No doubt.
It's the squirrel. See? It's the squirrel.
Thanks for letting us know. I've been monitoring back and forth, and there's a lag here.
Tell you, the squirrel. It's not the little gremlin in the desk. Well, Marianne's the one who said she doesn't like horror movies, right?
Right.
Right, and gives her nightmares?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I watch Leprechaun, and this is several years ago. Jennifer Aniston's in it. Really kind of a B-rated horror movie. So they got this little leprechaun that runs around. Give me my pot of gold. Give me my gold. Oh, I do that good.
You're creepy.
No, I do that good. I sound like a little leprechaun. Anyway, so that night I have a dream about a little 10-inch leprechaun running around all around my bed like this. And, it's just, now it's okay, but yeah.
Marianne says it's because we mentioned the Griswolds before.
See, I like the Griswolds. Anyway, so I hope all of you are still with us. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Give us a shout out who's here and that.
I can see Marianne and Glenda.
I'm going to go ahead and grab my black.
I haven't seen Carl for a little bit. I think we may have lost Carl to lunch.
Now we're on everyone's different time. Here, I know it's getting late over in the UK. Lunch here on a Sunday. I'm just strengthening up some of these shadows here with the black. I'm going to go ahead and get that shadow and around these bones, because you want these bones and stuff to pop up. I can't wait. I'm sitting here literally going through my head about next week's what Lady Heather has in store for you. Was that my Transylvanian accent?
I guess so.
I don't know. It just happens. Okay, now see, we don't have any colors on the feathers, but do you see it how it's popping out by just a simple shadow? I really can't stress this enough, that how shadows and highlights make or break a piece. You could have basically, and this is, I'm saying this with all things, you could have the worst coloring or painting, but if you have shadows and highlights, you can sell the piece.
Absolutely.
and make it really pop and dynamic. And that's the weirdest thing, because it doesn't matter what colors you use. I mean, art's open to interpretation. And it, art floats everyone's boat differently is about the best way to say it. But if you sell a piece with the highlights and the shadows, that's what literally makes and breaks a piece.
Which makes me wonder how Jackson Pollock ever made it.
Oh, I love his stuff. So you can't.
It's
that's
paint drizzle.
No. That was very interpretive painting, and that was.
Now, Marianne says that she likes the Griswold too, even though they're not the brightest.
Yeah.
Carl has a trivia question for us.
Okay.
Michelangelo used a technique called cartooning when he painted the Sistine Chapel. True or false?
Wait a minute. I'm thinking I know this. Hold on a second. Okay.
Now, that brings to mind another movie. Have you ever seen The Agony and the Ecstasy?
A long time ago. Wait a minute. I'm thinking. Can you read that question again one more time? I know this. No, I think it's. I'm really thinking it's true. From it was cartooning. I'm pretty sure it's cartooning. Yeah, I'm going my final answer, cartooning. Am I right? Did he say I was right? It's cartooning.
Let's let Carl say whether it's true or false. Lady Heather says true.
Yeah, it's true. I'm pretty sure it's true.
I like how Michelangelo worked in all the bishops and cardinals he didn't like as caricatures on that ceiling.
No, that's true. I'm going to add a little bit of this blue here to bring it out, since we had that blue with the marker, and graduate it here and kind of strengthen that here. Am I right? Carl's going to...
Now, Lady Heather, I know that you've done murals. Have you ever done any frescoes? Have you ever had anybody lay plaster and have you paint into it like Michelangelo did?
No. Nothing
Carl
like that.
says that's true. Congrats.
Yay! Wonder what I won. Did I win anything? Yay!
Did you win anything?
I don't know. Thank you. I'm going off to the Caribbean, huh? You sure you don't want to send me down to New Orleans with Dr. Lolo?
His name is Lolo. Do not get his name wrong.
No, I cannot get his name wrong.
He showed me a picture of that last doll he sewed. It looks a lot like you, Lady Heather.
Great. Okay, I'm going to come in with a different blue. This is electric blue.
That's one of my favorite colors.
And this is the color soft, and I'm applying it into this red or this rose color that we had laid down with the marker. And remember, you have this huge light source over here, so everything's going to be lighter here. You have this glowing skull that's got a little bit of light source coming here, and then we have a light source coming from up here that's going to be bouncing off of the those things. This is going to be a bad MS
Yeah, are you
night.
talking about the headstones,
That's
Lady
it.
Heather?
That's it. There we go. You just have to laugh. There is no anymore. Just
How's your hand holding up, Lady Heather?
nah, hand's okay. And no, I'm not sipping on wine or anything like that. This is what this does. So we're just rolling with it. At least we're having fun and coloring.
If you're not having fun, you're not doing it right.
Right. So things come out a little bit backwards. Those things. See, everyone is supposed to know when I point to that, you're supposed to know what that is. Those things.
Lady Heather's favorite word is whatchamacallit.
Yeah, whatchamacallit or
Thingies.
thingies. Hey, it works. Okay, so we have some serious highlights going on here. I'm going to grab the black polychromo, and that is due to my MS. For those of you who don't know, it's just, it happens at the darndest time sometimes. You can have the best day going on, and all of a sudden it's like, well, let's do this.
Marianne says, don't worry, Heather. We all have our issues, so we all know what it's all about.
Yeah. And you just kind of have to roll with it and chuckle at it, because if you can't have fun with it, it's just not.
Even Bob Ross had happy little accidents.
Yep.
And a squirrel.
And a squirrel. Oh, there's the squirrel again. There it is for Carl's wife, the squirrel. Maybe that's what's sitting up a tree is Bob Ross's squirrel. I always wonder what happened to it. Adding a little bit of red in here. This is actually called red.
That's original.
That's very unusual for Derwent to have very simple, like blue, red.
So is that primary red or just...
No, this is really primary red. Wait a minute. I got to check on something now. I got to see if yellow is yellow. That's acid yellow. See? Now this is the set of 36, so maybe the set of 72 has yellow. Nope, they don't actually have yellow. They have red and blue in this one. So maybe in the, like I said, the set of 72 with the Derwent Color Soft, they may have actual yellow. So that's kind of cool. But I have all the color pencils. The best names to date is Black Widow. And that's the first three sets, first 5 sets. I'm adding this red, and you can see how it's popping out. Now you want to pay attention. So as this material is flying over here, okay, and curving around, that's going to be casting a shadow down onto that curl. You have a light source here, as you can obviously see by the darn it, headstone right here. Okay, so you have this light. So you want to have this outer ridge be lighter, okay, because you want to make sure that we have this nice flow going with the material and that. So the lighter colors, like I said, it's all about the light and shadows. You want to make sure you have your shadows right and follow through. Be consistent. I'm going to go ahead and come up here and add a little bit of this red. Okay, so we have that going, and I'm also going to come in with my Midnight, and this is from my Black Widow set.
There ain't much left of Midnight.
Now I have a stack of three about the skin sets, so I'm okay. And see how this one is further back, because here you have this curl is coming around in the front. This little itty bitty piece right back here, okay, that's to the back half of that coat. So you want to go ahead and make sure you cast that back by a simple shadow. Darker pushes things back, the lighter the color brings things forward. Yeah. That's right.
Carl says, let's get off the squirrel. We call it Rhodey, and this thing has hit me in the ear so hard one time when he threw it at me going to the mailbox. Hurt for days. I think Carl's been traumatized by the squirrel, so we'll change topics.
I'm so sorry.
And here's our German word for the day. Schadenfreude. Lady Heather takes pleasure in people's misfortune.
No, I don't. I just see this little squirrel, this sweet little squirrel, and all he wants to do is have a little seed out of the pine cone, and he's just accidentally throwing it out, you know. That's what you need. You need a little squirrel trash can so he can go ahead and put his little droppings. It's like if you go to Texas Roadhouse, okay? I don't know how many of you have Texas Roadhouses, you know, but I did a lot of work for Texas Roadhouse over the years, paintings and that, and and you know, you eat those little raw peanuts and you're supposed to throw them out on the ground, you know, which helps oil the floor. The little squirrel just needs a trash can. That'll solve your problem. He needs a little trash can where he can put his little pine cone droppings in. And then he won't hit you in the head no more. See? Squirrel solved. Oh, anyway. I'm adding the shadows here with midnight, not with ultra black, underneath that feather. I want these, now is the time to start really making these other objects really pop out. The squirrel's name is Rhodey. That's cute.
He says, you got that right. Those pine cones hurt. You go, Tom. This squirrel will haunt Lady Heather tonight.
Oh no, now I want to draw a squirrel.
Carl's given me some great ideas to leave as traps for Lady Heather.
Mm-hmm.
Zombie squirrel.
Could do a zombie. That's it. Be a zombie squirrel.
His name will be Rhodey.
Rhodey. That could be
Carl,
fun.
is that short for roadkill?
No. Yeah, Carl, would you mind if I drew a picture of Rhodey?
Marianne says, send him to the Texas Roadhouse instead.
I'm going to go ahead and get my white. I think this is... Nope, it's called white. Casper.
Casper?
Is from the Black Widow set. Is their white, I believe. Don't hold me to that. I'm pretty sure that's the white from the Black Widow set. This is just white. And I want to go ahead and lay in. Now see, look when you're burnishing this out, how it's really popping the ribbon out. Look at that. And come on in and start adding these highlights. Now when you do that, since we have that neon green glowing, you want to come on in and over that white, add a hint of that lime green. We need to start making the glow. And come on in with those feathers. Okay. Gonna go ahead and accentuate the glow here of that and on her necklace here. Gonna go ahead and add a little bit of this glow to that jacket. Remember where we left that white? There was a reason for it. And a little bit, just a hint on this lapel over here. Come back, get this here. Now you go back over. Even though it's not ultra, see, you still have that glow going on with that rose. Let me zoom in here.
Now Carl says, be my guest. I'd like to see that squirrel on paper, flat out. Draw away.
I could say something, but I'm going to be good here. I'll have to get that paper or that squirrel done on overnight tonight
There you
after
go.
this
Yep.
and get it up. We'll just leave it at that.
Are you going to draw Carl into the picture getting beamed by the pine cone?
No,
Okay.
no, not that kind of. Maybe Halloween, but no. Okay, this is just a hint of that green to add that glow, and look what it does to the image. Need to brighten it up a little bit, add a little more to it. Okay, gonna add a little more around the nose here and all that. You might not think that it's really really super in your face, but in some areas, yeah, as you're the closer you are, the brighter it is. The further away you get, just even a subtle of this glow from this is going to be very, very, very crucial to this. I'm going to come on in and let's work on this white here on this zombie a little, or on this neon.
Marianne says, draw him eating on the floor in Texas Roadhouse. I'd love to see him among all the people in there. Marianne, he'd have a cowboy hat on. A squirrel with a cowboy hat.
That's it. Maybe we should do that for a live stream, though, from scratch to finish.
The drawing?
And do the drawing, yeah.
No
and,
coloring,
and
but...
No, I add the color too. He'd be just a little itty bitty squirrel. And of course I have to send it to Carl. You can see now how the glow is. You want that center of that glow to be as light as possible, and the outside's going to have that more of that mystical slimy color. I keep thinking this is like Slimer green.
There's a name for that glow. It's not foxfire, it's something else.
It's Lady Heather's mystical fog. I liked it. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of this into her hair here. Into her, like her dreadlocks here. Okay, and I want to bring down some onto this, onto the tombstones. There we go, because it's all casting this light. I also want to go ahead and grab my white, and I want to go around the hat just a little bit and around some of this area, because I want to make sure that this image is really going to pop out. And this is when you want to go ahead and do stuff like this. Even though, like I said, it may seem subtle to you right now, when you lay down some of this other color, you want to go ahead and make sure we have this light. I didn't want it pure white, that's why I went ahead and laid that really thin coat of background color down.
Carl would like to see the squirrel with a rope around its neck.
No, we're not doing that.
It's hanging time.
No, it isn't. We do not harm animals. Okay. So you can see it's coming along really, really nice.
And we're an hour and 46 minutes into your broadcast.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start laying in some loose color here. I'm going to come down to these tombstones for a little bit. Or for a few. Let's go ahead and kind of change up here. This is Persian gray. Oh, okay. So we have some shadows coming in from their outfit, and we've already laid down some of that gray. So let's go ahead. That was done with our Copics. And since her outfit is still kind of casting a shadow, you want to go ahead and do this because we really need this to really stick out. And since there are cracks and stuff, you want to make sure that you really highlight those cracks. And you want to give this texture.
Now you got me thinking we should have ninja squirrels, Carl dodging pine cones with an army helmet on.
Oh yeah, that's it. Okay. Coming back with this lime green, because we have other light sources, like I said, and you want to go ahead and cast that in. It's just playing with the grays right now. And it's okay to add, I mean, this is like Halloween and stuff. Whoop, there goes another color. Have fun and add, like, this is gray green. Really get into it. I mean, it's, you know. Then when you start blending it out or burnishing, you still have the texture from the markers going on. And you want to do this so it's not, remember how we did it nice and smooth? It's okay if you leave some grain to this. You know, especially depending on what paper you're using. You know, let the texture kind of shine through. Or come through.
And once again, what kind of paper was that, lady?
This is Canson's 98 mixed media paper. Next week we'll be working on a totally different paper here. I don't want to give too much away. And start adding some browns into this. I mean, really have fun with this. This is pale brown. These are weathered, at least in my mind. I mean, the cemetery looks kind of old. There's bones and stuff laying around here.
Well, she's down in the bayou. It's marshy and swampy and
yeah.
snakes slithering around.
Okay. And I want to go ahead and go back up to this voodoo doll and away from, let's see. So you have this swirling around here, okay? So let's go ahead and use this pale brown and add a little dimension. There's the seam. Let's get a little shadow underneath her eye. Its eye. I don't think this is a boy or a girl. But you want to keep it grainy too. You don't, I mean, there's times to blend and there are times not to blend. Nothing says you have to have everything blended out, you know, perfectly.
Carl says there's a very old cemetery, about 200 years old in my state. The tombstones look like what you are drawing.
Oh, cool. What's the name of the cemetery? But there's some, I love reading and visiting haunted cemeteries and stuff. And I want to add a little bit of this yellow into here. Okay, so I really want to find a good brown. This is a green. This does not look like a brown at all. I know, but I dig it and I'm gonna use it for the hair. So let's go ahead and on the opposite side. Oh yeah. Okay, once you have green already laid down and you add this, now you can kind of see the green. Standing alone, it makes for a nice brown. Let's go ahead and start adding in some of her hair here. On the opposite side.
You still have to come up with a name for her, Lady Heather.
Nope, just a voodoo priestess. And I'm kind of doing this in spiral pattern, or yeah, circular patterns. There we go. You know what I mean.
Carl says, you'd like this cemetery, Lady Heather. Some of the above ground crypts are open. I have not looked into them.
Cool.
That's like the crypts in New Orleans. They look like condos for midgets. You know, they're little houses that stand above ground in the cemetery. And they have an opening. And you slide the coffin and it has to sit in that opening for a year and a day. And then they pull the pins and the coffin drops down like an elevator shaft 20 feet down.
Wow. I've been to several, Charleston, this is many, many years ago. Oh, man, went on several ghost tours then. That is one haunted. Not New Orleans is the same. A very haunted place. I have tons of pictures. I should post those.
Well, Charleston was a pirate port too, just like New Orleans.
Oh yeah, man, they had a pirate tour. I did not do that one though, about the pirate tour. I did do one cemetery, and I think it was the one that's circular. Can you see what the name of that one is? There is the Charleston's oldest. It's a circular. It's circular except for the cemetery and
the Circular Congregation Church Cemetery.
That's it.
On Meeting Street.
Yeah, and
they go back to 1695.
Yes, and I mean there was no. This was like 9:00 at night. The tour. There were no cats at all on here. I mean, we were all, there was like 20 of us in this tour, and all of a sudden there was like one cat and two cats and like a gazillion cats, and they were like sitting on top of these tombstones, and there was a set of tombstones there, and I have the picture, and everyone, they encourage you to take photos. You never can tell when you can see a spectral and all this kind of stuff. I took a picture. And you couldn't see during the day, because I went and examined the cemetery before, the ghost tour, so I could see. You couldn't see any writing. You couldn't see any writing on these two particular stones. They made a big. My memory here is losing me on this, but I know that it was side by side, and the only way you could get any read on what the writing and who was buried there was when you took the camera and you had to literally hold it like this and snap it so you're looking down directly at it and you could see the writing. Otherwise it was perfectly flush. I mean, there was no. It was the weirdest thing I had ever seen. But there's those cats. I mean, cats are cool, but I mean they just appeared. There was no reason for these cats just to be there. And you didn't hear them crawl up. They just like, hi, I'm here now. The Unitarian Cemetery was another one there.
Carl says, yes, I know what you're talking about, Tom. Saw some of those cemeteries in New Orleans. Creepy. And Carl also says, yes, I know what you're talking about, Lady Heather. Been in Charleston many times. Really feels haunted. Fascinating. Yep, saw some of the cats too. My wife freaked out.
Yeah, they did just appear.
Well, does everybody know why they bury the bodies above ground in New Orleans?
Yeah, because I do.
Okay.
Because of the flooding.
No, it's easier to get up on election day.
Oh, that's really bad.
The dead vote.
Yeah, the dead will be voting. Anyway, we're not going political here. That was bad. That was
Mary
really
Ann
bad.
says, weird, I didn't see that when I visited a longtime friend who moved to Charleston some years ago.
It's and the tour, I don't know if they still do it. Bulldog Tours is like the best in Charleston. I don't know if they're still doing it. This was years ago. And the Unitarian Cemetery has the first, I believe it's the first female serial killer buried there. She killed off her husband and other men that she dated, but she had green eyes. And supposedly, as it goes, that if you walk in, and the cemetery is all well kept, and you go down open up this little wrought iron gate and go down this little brick path, and you have to go all the way back. And they only stopped mowing the grass like 2/3 of the way, and all the way back. And I think this is let's see, there's Meeting Street and there's King Street, so it's another street above King Street and over more west, I think. But anyway, you go back to the second half. The grass is not mowed in this section, and you go there, and she doesn't like any women. This ghost, especially ones with green eyes. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm standing in the cemetery, and I got these really nice green eyes. And I mean, that freaked me out. That was creepy. It was like she was standing right there, and everyone just if you have green eyes or beware, she may follow you home. That's okay. That's okay.
I had a friend who interned as an undertaker in New Orleans back in the 50s and 60s. And he said that the young men all lived at the mortuary down by the Garden District, and they slept there at night. And they had two rules: no girls in the house and no drinking. And he had gone out partying and got drunk, and he woke up in the showroom, in the parlor, in one of the coffins. That was the punishment. So he got to wake up in a coffin.
Oh, jeez. That's just,
And he said one time they went out on a rainy day to be pallbearers to carry a casket downhill into a cemetery, and there was a reflecting pool at the bottom, and two of the pallbearers slipped in the mud. The handles snapped off the casket, and it slid downhill and across the reflecting pond.
oh no, that's just not good.
So that everybody was watching their dear departed floating away on the pool.
Oh.
So anyway, Carl says, yes, you're right, Lady Heather. You know what you're talking about. Is it Church Street?
Could be. Yeah, I know it's the Unitarian Cemetery. But it weird hours too.
See, I'd love to see that because William Teach, better known as Blackbeard, used Charleston as one of his ports of call.
Yes, and that brings me to, where didn't Carl say he's in Charleston a lot?
He's been
okay,
there, yeah.
I think it's at King's Inn, the King's Inn, and it's room 101 or 103. This is a beautiful hotel. Once again, down a little corridor, and you go out in, and it's almost like a villa. Okay, and the story goes, I think it's room 103. The story goes, Blackbeard was coming on in, had his wife. There was the guy's wife in room 103. He was waiting for her to come in, and Blackbeard was coming on in. There was all this going down. She never made it with his son. And so he waited and waited and waited, went down to the docks, came back. She was still not there. Blackbeard's attached to this somehow, and I'm trying to think. This is a long time ago. I'm shooting here. But if you stay there, you actually hear someone. I mean, the guy was so distraught, he hung himself off the balcony, okay, off the second floor in the room, and you can hear it. The lights come on. It was like at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you could stay there on another ghost store, staying there and waiting to see. They will not rent out that room anymore because it happens on a very regular basis, but they will not rent out that room. But it was creepy, and I'm getting goosebumps just talking about that. But that had that was with Blackbeard and the pirates and all that. And they do on the Bulldog tours, they do go down an alley that actually had a duel between two pirates, and that was going on down there, and you can hear stuff going on. We all had little candles and stuff as we were on this tour, and we ended up going into the lobby of it, and mine came on. Naturally, mine had a flicker, right? So I let out a big scream and like run the other way. But yeah, that was that was really fun.
Carl says, and Beaufort too actually was in the restaurant he frequented.
Wow. Okay, so I'm adding this brown earth. I'm really liking this. I need to sharpen the pencil. And it's just on the opposite side of the green. Okay, you want to lay this darkest color in. And get the shadows in. The darkest on the one side, because you still want to show that those lighter colors. Remember, hair that's further back, you want to go ahead and make it darker, because not all the strands of your hair is going to be up close. Oh, this has been just a ghostly session. Wait until next week.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
No. Closer the hat's going to be darker. But it's fun. I mean, people, I hear a lot, well, what can you do as stress relief and all this and color? Get lost in the moment, have fun. I mean, we're sitting here doing, chit-chat, coloring, having fun. And that's what this is all about.
I like the glowing eyes on her skull.
Yes.
The dude on her staff. And Heather Berker is here. She says, hi, Heather.
Hi, Heather. How are you? And I missed an area here. No big deal. That's part of the background, so I'm going to lay in that gray-green. Okay. I'm going to work a few more minutes. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and then we'll finish this up during the week. Probably like Tuesday night. I don't want to keep you around too long, but we've come along quite nicely. Laying in the shadows. And that. Okay. This is cloud blue, and I want to go ahead and lay a little bit on the darker area of the skull. And coming down around her necklace like this. Okay. Okay, so what I want to do, and there goes another thing. My pencil sharpener is not digging these color soft pencils at all. So I'm beginning to think that it's more and more about my pencil sharpener. So we're not going to do that. I'm going to be very careful here. Matter of fact, now I'm going to go to my dark skin set with my Black Widows. I do not know what my pencil sharpener is doing here, but I need some funky color, and I'm going to use the olive gold, and I want to kind of go down in with the teeth. Let me zoom in here. Okay. You want to kind of go down and up above the tooth. I don't want to carry it into what would be the gum line, if that makes sense. I want to kind of have rotten teeth, if that makes. You don't want to cut them off, because let me draw some. So you have, okay, so you have your teeth like this, okay, and your teeth coming down like this. And if I were to go ahead and outline them like this, I don't want to do that, because now my skeleton has gums, and I want it to kind of be like bones in my mind. I mean, if you want to do that, that's your interpretation of it. I don't want to cut it off like that. I want it to be all like one piece.
Can you pan up a little bit?
I cannot. I don't want to touch camera or anything like that right now.
Because you're trying to show the teeth in your...
With the way camera and technical difficulties, I don't want to. Okay, you can see just a hint of this. I'm going to come down with this olive gold. And I want to fill in the rest of her necklace here. You can see I have a highlight, I have a shadow, and then you want to, this is metal, so you're really, like I said, you really have to pay attention to the shading here.
Glenda says it's been amazing to see this evolve from start to now. And Marianne says, I just love how it turns out now. It looks really gorgeous, Heather.
Thanks.
And Carl says, thank you, Heather. Your events really help my wife with her anxiety attacks. She gets caught up in the moment with your drawing. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, thank you. We all have moments like those.
And we have a guest called Intruder Lady who says, hi, Kitty here.
Hey, Kitty!
Turns out awesome.
Hi, Kitty.
And Marianne appreciated you moving the camera around so she could see better.
Thank you. Oh, and I'm working down here now. See? I'm working on the belt. This is chalk tone. I'm starting to lay in the shadows here. I'm just going to really lay in some quick color here, and then we're going to call it a night. Thanks for joining us, everybody. And don't forget, after this goes live, or after we end here, give us about an hour, and YouTube about an hour to go ahead and get it live stream. And let me zoom out here. There we go. And let me bring down the camera a little bit so where I'm working. and to get it going ahead and broadcasting the replay live, or the replay streaming. Once that happens, make sure you read down in the destructions.
In the destructions.
We're gonna have to sign off here really quick. In the instructions below, to play along, you want to play along. I cannot stress this enough. You don't want to miss next week's event, and you want to play along for the next 4 days. You have tonight, tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Then put your answers in. Like I said, this will all be in the rules. Send me your answers. Send me the clues that I've posted. And by Thursday. And it's going to be so much fun. But anyway, I'm laying down some of these darker shadows in the ruffles. It is going to be a haunted music box. I will say that. We have a haunted ballerina dancer. And you're really going to like the techniques and stuff you can learn from this. Don't forget, you want to go ahead and please give me a thumbs up, like my channel, subscribe to my channel. You want to follow Instagram, Twitch, Patreon. Even if you're our Patreon member, thank you from the bottom of my heart. For those who just want to follow and get the clue, you can go ahead and do that for free also on Patreon. But we'll have all, like I said, all the rules and stuff. Enter the prizes. Yeah, you'll want to do that. But anyway, so basically what we've done is we've done, the tombstone. The ground is easy peasy. The background is, we got some feathers. We got her hair going. This is the main part of this whole entire thing, though. That I wanted you to learn was the highlights and stuff. So the rest of this is going to be really easy. I don't want to keep you here all afternoon, and I need a break. If I go from destruction to instructions, we have backwards. Anyway, thank you for joining this. Remember, watch the replay. They will be up. I'm not going to take them down or anything like that. Thank you for joining. Next time it's Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What is it, Saturday the 19th?
Yes, Saturday the
19th.
Now, I just want to make it clear that people are aware of her Patreon site. They're aware of YouTube and Instagram, because those are kind of like, linked together.
Yep.
Twitch is a site that was created for people who do blogs and gaming and everything else.
Twitch TV.
Yeah,
yep.
Twitch TV. And if you look it up on Google, you'll find up it's free to sign up. You can create a user profile, and you can see a lot of interesting stuff. We're going to be broadcasting there simultaneously in the not too distant future.
Right.
Some people are more comfortable with that than YouTube. So it's a different platform. It's a lot for us to learn, but we hope to see you all there.
Right. And yeah.
And I'm glad we all had fun, and glad that Lady Heather had a good time. And
yes.
We're looking forward to drawing Rhodey the squirrel.
Oh, yes.
Because this is going to give Carl nightmares.
No, I'll probably have to send it to Carl, and so you can show it to the squirrel. See? But anyway, thank you. God bless. Have a great afternoon, and I'll have the rest of this posted this week here on YouTube. There's just a few finishing details. Thank you. MS is coming on, and I need to sign off for today. So thank you for joining me. Have a good day. Stay safe, and check back later today and for the next 3-4 days, and I'll see you here next Saturday. Until then, have a good day.